welcome to week 12 of season 5. We have done it. We have made it to the last week of the season. Now, after this, we are going to go to a quick holiday break for a couple weeks and pick it right back up with the postseason, starting with the Challengers Cup. It is going to be a solid 3 weeks of Challengers and Championships, and I'm looking forward to that. But we're not without our good matches for this final week. Today we have ZER0, which is 3rd place right now in North America, versus F3, who is 2nd. Both extremely solid teams, a lot of amazing performers, a really, really great season between both of them. Like, this is going to be a good match. This season's been packed. It's had all sorts of little twists and turns. We saw the fall of Acer followed by a complete comeback, and they're back up to 1st again. We saw Valor not existing at the beginning of the season and coming back with a pretty strong vengeance halfway through. We also, unfortunately, no longer have another team with us, which I'm not going to get into right now, but we have a lot of shakeup. We have a lot of solid teams putting in that work to get to those top 7 spots that they need to avoid the Challengers Cup and get into Champions. It's been a crazy season, and I am looking forward to what this last week has for us. But we are still waiting for these players to get in the lobby. So while we do that, I am going to switch it over to our great sponsors and their ads to pay the bills a little and give them a little bit more time to get in here. So I will see you all shortly.
Prepare to start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
Alright, we are back, and we are about to get into our first map, a classic, one that everybody has seen before if you have played Breachers or watched Breachers, and that is Hideout. Now, for those of you that might not be as familiar with Hideout, this is one of the most played maps in all of Breachers. If it's in ranked, you will play it. If it is in a scrim, you're most likely going to play it. It is played a majority of matches. This is heavily favored by most teams in Breachers and most players. Now, it is a slightly more offensive-sided map traditionally, but it can change depending on the team. We do see the drone going in. ZER0 making their way in, getting the wall foamed, getting it ready. Drone going up to garage, trying to clear that, make sure that we don't have anything that we have to worry about. Looks like garage is fully left open, making the defense completely solid within gym and A site. Drone explosive goes in, doesn't quite find anybody, but the space is slowly getting taken. That hatch already open, but F3 being undeterred, keeping a solid defensive line, making sure there is no ground to be given. The wall is foamed on the side in storage. Nothing quite found yet in terms of damage, but this could turn into a giant gunfight at any second. Splunge getting the first kill, Casey getting a refrag, while Running Water gets a second and Fulton gets another. Juice getting yet another kill, putting it into a 3v2, now a 3v1. 2 players on ZER0, extremely low, but Colton has to make something happen. He is completely incendied off now, and he unfortunately goes down to the incendiary. That is the first round in the pockets for ZER0. And it looks like I haven't swapped the team names yet. There we go, we have that taken care of, and ZER0 is now leading first point. They are able to buy a little more coming into this next round, but it still doesn't guarantee them the round. This middle floor can go both ways. If you have a solid defense, as it looks like F3 is trying to set up, they look to be wanting to hold garage a little bit more, which is always a great decision, which could give them the edge, but it is a solid buy out of ZER0 right now. We've got a couple submachine guns in the mix, and we have a Cadillo as well. Looks like we have Running Water running that Cadillo. He might go for those long shots, but it is possible that he is just going to try and bank off of the one-tap headshot potential. Time is running out for the prep phase, and we see these teams ready. They are looking to get into round 2. First round goes out, and Running Water does find the first shot. What an excellent, excellent hit into that garage. Utility going out, not quite finding anything. Running Water getting stimmed up by his teammates, getting set up so that he can continue to use that one-tap gun. You see BLW pulling through the stairs, but Snoop gets taken down by Running Water. That is a 2K. That Cadillo is already doing so much work for them. Garage is now mostly free for this stack. Colton manages to take out one, utilizing his own SMG. Casey getting Sin of Sloth. That is one heck of a collapse. Splendid gets a 2K. What a nicely done frag. It is 3v1. Void has to figure something out. He is completely alone at this moment. Grenade goes out, not able to find anything. Juice getting the kill and winning it the next round for his team. This is 2-0 for ZER0. So far, excellent, excellent attacks. They're making sure that they're getting those early picks, making sure that F3 gets put into a tight spot with that lack of manpower, and they're just really making all of their pushes and their shots count. Doesn't mean F3 is out of the running, though. They do have a decent buy of submachine guns for the most part. That is going to allow them to get some fire down range, but they are not looking great for this next round. They will have some loss bonus, but it's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. It looks like about 4 of them could technically buy Vezins or Maruis if they went into these the next round with the money that they have, and they lost. Meanwhile, we see a lot of Cadillos out of ZER0 right now. 2 SMGs and 3 Cadillos. It looks like they're going for those long headshot potentials. Will they find it? Unsure, but it looks like a very solid master bedroom and site bathroom hold. Ooh, Tacey finding the first pick onto Juice. That is an early man advantage. That is something they absolutely needed. Drone does go down. And it looks like BLW will be backing off of that bathroom window. Now, we do see ZER0 trying to get any sort of info, any sort of picks that they can. They know that somebody's on that master bedroom bed right now, but it's going to be a little bit risky to get over there. that is not an advantageous drop for them, as Colton starts working his way back to the site. Drone does pick up a little bit more info, but not anything that they can exactly action upon just yet. That wall is still in the way. The EMP set up in a decent spot that it can be recovered. Incendiary goes out. C4 tries to come in, does get Splunge. Splunge goes down to Divorced Dad's C4. Very well thrown. This is really falling apart for ZER0. They are not getting the traction that they need. They're already at a lower man advantage. It looks like this hold is just so solid from F3. We see Snoop ready for that jump through, and Snoop does get BLW. What an excellent little kick right on the corner of the explodable wall. 2v5, this is a tall ask for ZER0 to win. It might be time for them to back out, utilize what they have left in the next round, kind of save that money. Granted, we do see a lot in those bankrolls over there. Running Water is going to find a pick. Running Water finds one, finds two. Excellently done. That evens it up for the most part, but Snoop is ready. Right in the kill box. Takes out one, allows Spoit to get the second one. That gives the first round in the pocket for F3. Already on track to finish this out on about the standard expectation. Typical expectation being that the match is still anybody's match, no real lean. If you can go into the second half with the team coming off of Enforcers with 4 points and the team coming off of Revolters with 2 points. Now, we see more Cadillos coming out with 2 Vezins this time. A strong set of Maruis coming out from F3 as they look to upholster their armory. Get a little bit more traction, a little bit more gunpowder this coming round. You're sitting in a good spot to continue to roll and bank points. It still is nothing guaranteed for either team. This is a set of weapons where it could go either person's way. It's going to come down to the positioning, the accuracy, and the talent of these two teams, especially the luck. Juice puts the drone in, starting to get a little bit of intel, immediately gets taken out. We see a second drone coming in as Running Water starts making his way through. He gets the first pick right onto Spoit, getting that early headshot in, getting that early man advantage. Drone not quite able to find anybody. Snoop taking out Running Water with a fantastic nade. Snoop going for a second incendiary, not quite finding anybody. Tasty looking to cover his team's back just in case there is anybody there. On our side, we know there is, but on their side, they're not 100% sure. It looks like it is a slight rotate around to the A side. Splunge moving his way in. Same with his teammates. We see that Boardwalker going out. Snoop able to get the hit, and Tasty Wasey able to take the second one. Cinepslot taking out Tasty Wasey. It is 3v2. F3 having the man advantage. This is going to work in their favor. They're going to have more potential to make anything happen. Snoop being given away, but he manages to get the gunfight still. It is down to Sin of Sloth. There is not much that he's going to be able to do. Colton managing to finish that out and get the kill. It is now 2-2. These attacks not quite working out. The ability to refrag on F3's side and catch these ZER0 players off guard is really coming in handy. Snoop being an excellent MVP of that round, making sure that his team comes away with that healthy man advantage for the win. We still see a decent buy of Cadillos over on the ZER0 side, while everybody else has switched to Maruis and Vezins on F3. Going with the standard meta, while there's just this interesting reliance on Cadillos over on ZER0. This has been paying off for them. They've been getting some good headshots, but they're starting to lose rounds as they get into these later rifle rounds, where it becomes more dependent on money, more dependent on meta guns. And they continue to make this work, though. Completely debatable. They were able to win this last push on this floor. Drone has completely checked out garage and found out that they are good to go in. Juice pulling the drone out, looking to go over to storage and check for a little intel. Grenade does come out, doesn't quite find anybody. The wall does go out as well. They have found the intel that they need, knowing that there is one person on the inside of storage. Snoop looking to hold that while DeBoer's dad holds from the wall, trying to cover him in case there's a hatch drop. And it looks like we have a surprise guest, Tacey Wasey, up on that hatch. He hears the first drop, doesn't go for anything. Running Water and Snoop both getting killed. Exploit getting a kill, but Snoop manages to refrag, gets a little bit more damage. Running Water and Juice have to make something happen. It is a 4v2, and they're getting close to the last round. It is almost halftime. But this is a lot to ask for them. They have one Cadillo each, both low on health. A little bit of damage Juice gets on there, but he isn't quite able to react to Snoop running from the outside. Running Water having 4 health to his name. There is not much he can do at this moment. Unfortunately, this specific round has fallen apart for ZER0. They're going to have to work at this. Running Water looks like he is going to go for it. He is going to try and make something happen in order to get his team another point on the board. Again, they have to get one more if they want to finish on what is typically accepted as that even half. He shoots the clone, but it gives away his position. Looks like he is going to go outside and recover and hold on to what he has. That cloak and that Cadillo going to do something they need for the next round. Their money is not good. They have to use whatever they possibly can coming up on this next round. Very, very unfortunate round for ZER0, but this is really working out in F3's favor. We see that discipline being held. 2 people hunting while 2 others watch and hold the site, knowing exactly where they have EMP, making sure that there's no way they can get approached, and making sure that there's nowhere that that person can hide within the build or within the bottom floor. And that is another round into F3's pocket. They weren't quite doing well on the first 2 rounds, but they are really coming alive now that the game is coming in. That warm-up coming in, that time in the game, the jitters getting out, the people warming up, it's coming together for F3, and ZER0 is going to really have to put some work in order to get this second half. But we are on the last round of the first half. Money looking amazing for F3. They're able to buy whatever the heck they want. Meanwhile, ZER0 is going to scrape by to get 3 Maruis. Looks like they're going to go back to that 3 metagun and 2 Cadillo strategy with a little bit of util mixed in. Fair enough, a good way to stretch your economy, but it so far isn't working amazingly for them. They need this round unless they want to be in a really bad position when it comes to round swap. F3 is an extremely aggressive team. They're very good at getting those attack rounds. They're going to need everything they can have going into their defensive, or for ZER0 going into their defensive half. See the hatch open. Colton watching from master bedroom, looking for any early pick that he can, any hatch drop that might happen. Nothing as of yet. It looks like the standard approach is being taken for A site. Minus 1 single individual walking up from stairs on long haul. This could get interesting. BLW, unfortunately getting given away by the motion sensor, and that flank has been completely terminated. Sponge looking to get that nade through the bathroom window into that deep connector, and he is going to land it. Exploit goes down. What a great nade. Nothing as of yet, as ZER0 continues to try and work for more picks, not giving themselves away, but the C4 from Dvorstad managing to finish immediately. Running Water managing to take out Colton. Casey Wasey working his way up from Killbox as well. Splunge watching for downstairs, making sure nothing happens. Running Water getting a second pick. And that man advantage is now very strongly in the side of Zero. But Snoop decides that he's going to lower it a little bit. Dvorstat getting a pick of his own as well. Damage goes out, Snoop goes down, and Dvorstat is getting hit. And Running Water finishes it out, making sure that his team ends with a 3-3. Not a horrible position to go into on round swap, but it's not exactly ideal. Zero still has some work that they got to do to make sure that they can ensure this win. F3 being in a lot better of a situation, especially with how aggressive on attack they can be and how much of an overwhelming force they are. We do see that bottom site again. Same thing we saw on the first half for the first round for Pistols. And we are going to get to see that nice signature F3 aggression. A fairly standard defense coming out from Zero right now, as they look to get most of their concentration into B site with a little bit of pressure on storage and some by waterfall. But we do have a far roamer, and it looks like we actually have one person going into A site and just leaving a single person on B, BLW. Looks like we have a peek out from Running Water, not quite finding anything. It's not exactly the most opportune angle for him at this moment. The run-in into garage has happened. That hatch getting ready to be foamed. We see some creeping going around from the further roamers on Zero's side. Nothing quite being found yet, but they're able to at least eliminate A from being a possible objective. Drone does go out, Juice. Throwing a C4, getting ready. He does find one kill with it and manages to survive, but Colton takes down Running Water. It is now an even 4-4 with a little bit of a health disadvantage right now. Ooh, Juice with a very, very confident hold. BLW getting a kill while Sploit manages to even it up a little bit. F3 is on a slight man disadvantage. It's still completely doable. These are two great shooters. Tacey and Sploit are able to possibly take this round for F3, but that Taurus in the hands of BLW could be a major threat. One headshot could take out one of those guys. Sploit takes down Sin of Sloth, but he is down to 46 health. It's not great for him, but it's still very, very doable. Incendiary coming out doesn't quite find any damage. Sponge taking the first and taking the second. What a nice transition. Getting those final kills that they're going to need to secure this round. And they have managed to secure the lead. That is going to give them a little bit more money going into this second half. It looks like Zero is performing a little bit better on those pistol rounds than F3. But as we saw, F3 manages to take it back when it gets into the higher buy rifle rounds. Zero does have their work cut out for them, but they are holding their own. This is a close match. We do have that concentrated A defense coming out from Zero, holding one in the back of Long Haul as well, right on the murder box to make sure that they can keep that control of the backside of B. Sponge holding in the center. Wall, we see a closer to an A approach, but some pressure going on to B as well, as Colton is going to potentially look for anything he might be able to find in Master Bedroom. Foam is thrown down by Snoop. Looks like it is there for his teammates to recover at a later time. Not wanting to risk that hatch drop and potentially dying to Master Bedroom. Once again, we see the Cadillo buy coming from Running Water as well, though. This man was making things work with it. F3 is now in the building, getting set up for their approach to the site. On the stairs and in the hallway, but no damage has been found yet by either team. I take that back. A tiny bit of damage has been found onto Snoop, but not quite enough to make a huge difference. Wall is open. Grenade goes out and gets really close to Snoop, doing a decent amount of damage on him, dropping him down to 57. But he is ready still. His team is fully backing him up, making sure that they are covered. Nade coming out and taking out Sin of Sloth immediately. Divorced really on par with his nades and C4, and the plant has begun. Is he going to be able to get it? Juice gets a 2K, but Running Water gets taken out by Sploit on a refrag with that Incendiary. It is 3-3 right now. Health lower on F3's side, however, they are a very determined bunch. They can make this work still. It looks like they're playing less aggressive than they usually do, but they managed to get the plant off. And now it is up to Plunge and BLW getting those kills. It is down to the last one. Splunge getting that final kill with the Cadillo, completely securing the round for his team. Very, very good counter push, making sure that they can get out there and take F3 before they get into their post-plant spots. Very, very well done. Goodness, I have forgotten how much talking goes into being a solo cast. Unfortunately, it is definitely, it's getting into the holiday weeks and we are a little bit short on casters, but I was not about to let this match go. This is so far a fantastic match and is really living up to what I was expecting. We see some Cadillos coming out from F3's side, a couple SMGs to back it up. It's not quite the dream loadout, but it is what they can make work, and is going to allow them to buy some util. Get them everything they need in order to get into those sites. On the other hand, though, it looks like about an even buy on the opposite side. 4-0 looks like they're going to bankroll a little bit of their money in case this round goes bad. Sin of Sloth going for another Taurus. This man is playing Giga Chad mode. Ooh, Colton gets a little bit of early damage, almost killing Running Water, but not quite. He's waiting for that peek out. BLW decides to back off on it. We see the pixel, or the small peaks coming out as Colton is able to get that shot onto Running Water and get a man advantage. This is already starting to not go in Zero's favor. F3 making sure that they can get that early advantage. Juice, though, completely shoring it up for his team as he gets a 2K. Sploit returning the favor with a refrag. It is 3-3. A lot of health has been taken away, though, on the F3 side. This is not ideal for him. Colton evening it up, though, by taking down one. They now have the man advantage, but they are still low on health. BLW getting a kill of his own, evening it up to 2-2. BLW getting a second kill, putting it to last, and he gets the final kill, getting that 3K. Excellent, excellent job. I might have accidentally pressed the record button twice on that, and we might get a double replay of that. I apologize in advance. Zero looking fantastic on this round. This map really looking to go in their favor. Right now, F3's backs are against the wall. They have to make this happen if they want to stay in and possibly grab Hideout for this series. Looks like both teams are running very healthy loadouts right now. 3 Maruis in the pockets of F3, while Zero looks to stick with Cadillos for the most part, with 2 Maruis in play. They're really making these Cadillos work, and they're really insistent on it. Their defense so far has been very good, and we just haven't seen the normal aggression that we see from F3 that we've come to usually expect. If you remember VRML Con, they were running in like banshees. They were unstoppable. They were crazy. But maybe it's a bad day. Maybe they are still warming up, but they haven't brought the energy like they normally do. That is BLW with a first kill. Running Water getting some damage as well. Not quite finding the kill that they need. A nade coming out, almost taking out Running Water. He does take some damage, but not horribly enough. He gets a second kill onto Snoop as well. Ooh, Sploit getting the kill onto Running Water. Tracy downstairs getting a little bit of damage on himself. It is a 4v3 on Zero's side. This is not ideal, but it's still completely workable considering it's all Maruis for F3. They are going to stick to that A approach and continue to work it. Tracy and Colton are inside the building now, looking for any possible lurks, picks, runouts from sight. But ZER0 is staying solid on their defense, staying committed to the site, staying committed to their position, putting a little bit of damage through walls to try and fish out intel. Wallbangs do come out, nothing quite found yet. Foam does go out from Colton. He prepares it for his team. Exploit looking to go around from the staircase, get a different position, and watch for anybody trying to do a run out. Nothing found yet. It is a stalemate at the moment as F3 starts running out of time. They're at 1 minute left. Nate does come out, and so does the C4. The C4 does find some damage onto Exploit. He backs off, looking for any possible runouts again. Needs that cover. He is not in the most amazing spot health-wise, and none of his team is, but we do see Stim starting to come out, and that getting repaired. Incendiary does go out, and Static is taken out. The plan begins, all that util taken out, but BLW is going to look for it, and he does the run out and gets the kill. Stacy getting another kill, but Simmons Frost getting the refrag. It is just Colton left. He has to secure this. This is the last round for Hideout if he loses. He has to make this happen. Plant has not been done. 15 seconds are left. It is do or die time. He has to go. He has to go now. Oh my god, he does it! He does it. He gets the double kill on the push-up and secures the round, keeping F3 in, giving them a chance to get this map. What a baller. Very nicely done. This has been one exciting match. I've been really enjoying this so far. Whew. Good lord, there's so much talking on a solo cast. But back into the verbal gauntlet. We are back on the bottom floor. Still, all that saved money really coming in handy as we see 3 Cadillos and a Vezin out in play for ZER0. But the buys on F3 are not bad either. 3 Maruyas in play. That's more than enough that they need to win this next round. Ooh, that single person sitting from long, not quite able to find the nade. Looks like he is going to retreat back and try and save his life. A little bit of a slightly risky play, but BLW is able to retreat successfully. Nothing found yet. Those drones going out, trying to find him, but he has already retreated all the way back into sight. Dad gets ready. He blows the first wall and gets the hatch prepped. Hatch goes out. And BLW gets a first kill, but Colton gets the refrag. What a great flick. Ooh, Snoop getting a second kill, but Snoop getting the refrag. Didn't have Sloth and Vorstad trading. Exploit getting another kill, and they have put it 2v1. Running Water has to make something happen. He is not in a great position. He is stuck on the roam with just a Cadillo. Sure, Colton has low health, but he also has a stim. And he has his teammate with him. They could absolutely go for the plant right now, but he is being completely cautious, making sure that he can't get grabbed. Damage does go out. Exploit gets hurt. Colton able to stim up as well, and they are both completely in the running for this. They go for the deep plant onto B site. Running Water needs to figure something out last minute. Otherwise, this is going to be another round in F3's favor. Ooh, Exploit almost getting the shot. Incendiary not landing where it needs to. Geometry absolutely messing up that throw. Oh, but Colton able to be there for the cross angle and taking out Running Water. That is 6-5. This is getting close. This might go into overtime. middle floor, all the money that F3, or sorry, yeah, that F3 could ever want. They are able to do some pretty solid buys, bring out some Cadillos. Not quite, I take that back, not quite all the money they could ever want. They are missing a couple of meta guns, but they're really making it work with whatever they buy. Their attacks are solid. They're being very measured. They're finding exactly who they need to. But the buys over on ZER0 aren't too bad either. We see a nearly full buy, the same traditional buy that they've been doing, 3 Maruis with 2 Cadillos. This is still anybody's round, anybody's game. There's no severe deficit that could absolutely throw the round in terms of weaponry. It's still very workable from both sides. Tracy looking for that cross shot into garage as Colton finds the first pick. Nade not quite landing where it needs to, coming from garage. Second nade going out, and it does find Dvorstat. That is a 4v4 now. Very, very well placed nade right off the geometry of the door frame. Snoop looking to find any possible flankers, but nothing has happened yet. Most everybody's sticking to sight. Drone does get taken out, and wallbangs continue. Nothing being found through the wall just yet, though. Wall does get foamed, and the attack is ready. Juice standing out in a very defensive spot, but he commits to it, and he gets the double kill. Tracy getting the refrag, but it's too late. The man advantage has already been taken. But Tracy gets a second, evening it back up. It is back to anybody's game. Cadillos all over the place. It is just Cadillo and Marui heaven at this moment. That nade finds some decent damage onto Splunge, but the stim immediately bringing him back. Single getting that first hit, and Splunge getting the second. That brings it out to a win for ZER0. All right. Forgive the inaccurate score right now. Unfortunately, our API broke, so I am having to do everything manually, and I'm reading a couple of the buttons at the moment. So we are not at 0-2 already for map 2, but we did see a fantastic round. That finishing score being 7-5 in favor of ZER0. But we are going to get into that second map shortly. Fantastic job from both teams. ZER0 barely edging that out, but F3 put on a fantastic show. We are going to switch to ad break because this is a lot as a solo caster, so much going on. So I'm going to take a quick break and let the bills get paid. I will see you all shortly.
Prepare to start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
Alright, we are back now with map 2 on ZER0 versus F3. That is going to be Arctic. All right, we see that set up for that traditional B, most people's favorite site. Is F3 going to come back looking for blood? I think they are. But let's get into it. Nothing just yet. The entirety of F3 getting in that building, getting the ground that they need to start this approach. BLW getting taken out by the drone. I don't think I've actually ever seen anybody get taken out by one yet. What a sneaky little play from Colton. No damage yet getting found through the walls, but that early man advantage from F3 must feel nice. Ooh, Sin of Sloth sitting in a cheeky little spot, getting snooped right off of the angled corner. He knows that two are coming in. Anticipating, not quite able to find the kill. Neither of them dying, but Juice is able to finish it off with the C4. This push is starting to go bad for F3. Incendiary going out, not quite finding anybody, but Sin of Sloth is still incredibly low, as is Running Water. They know where Running Water is, not quite able to find the hit. And Colton finally does manage to find it. The Warstad tries to go for the kill and does get it. Sin of Sloth is down. 3v2. F3 has the man advantage, but they are all three low on health. 1 to 2 shots will kill them. And Juice able to get the first kill, but not before taking a headshot from a Spectral and getting lowered down to 23. Colton manages to creep up and get that kill. It is down to Splunge. Both F3 members extremely low. Splunge not doing too great himself. He has 53 health and he has to take these both out. He knows where Tacey is and he knows where Colton is, but the health is so low it might not matter. He does get the first shot and Colton manages to finish it out, giving that first round to F3. F3 seems to be enjoying that win as they buy up into some RCPs and some Vipers, getting himself a good chunk of util as well. Looks like that Viper or that RCP is going to get swapped out for an Omen on Snoop though. The buy is not too horrible on Zero either, somewhat comparable, but still more pistols than F3 is sporting at the moment. BLW bringing out that Taurus yet again. This is something I want to see. Hatch is open. Juice is exposed right under the hatch. He's going to get immediately droned out, unless the drone doesn't check him. Unless I am also completely wrong and he's actually in the hallway. No, I am wrong. He is in the hallway. He has gotten out. Apologies, the camera angle looked like he was right under that hatch again. But we do see F3 coming in, getting control of that hallway, and slowly making their way into Gym. Nades going out as Dvorstad gets up with that foam, looking to get the wall prep. Looks like Dad is actually going to go hunting instead. He's looking for that early pick. Juice right on the other side of the wall. Any chance. Ooh, Juice does take down Snoop, and Dvorstad isn't quite able to get the pick just in time. BLW taking a large amount of damage, but Sin of Sloth is able to get a second kill. He instants off the hallway to the doorway to library, making sure that he's covered from that backside. But it's not early enough to celebrate. Dvorstad does get that kill onto Juice. BLW is still sitting out for health. And he gets taken out by the Incendiary. It is now 3-3. Dvorstad might have low health, but it is still even, and they work with less to get that next round. Spoit taking down Sin of Sloth, putting it into a 3v2. That is advantage for F3. It is now 1 as MAB finds that kill onto Splunge, getting refragged by Running Water though. The kill not quite going out. Running Water has to make this happen. He is able to find the first kill, and he gets the second. Very nicely done. That is round going 2-0. Very nicely done on the clutch. Excellent, excellent job, Running Water. Ooh, getting a little lost with the camera. We are now on bottom floor, and it looks like we are going to see that traditional B push coming out from F3. We are even at 1-1. But this map can be a toss-up just depending on how the teams play, on which sites that they get more often. So this absolutely is anybody's map. We see some Vezins and a Vezin and a Marie coming out from F3. They are looking to take this round. A more conserved buy from ZER0, as we see mostly SMGs coming out with that one single traditional Cadillo that we've come to expect so far from this match. Juice waiting for that door to get open, but he has been found out. He does get that first kill. Juice takes out Exploit, but the worst dad gets that refrag. That Vezin doing its work. 4-4 so far. A little bit of damage has been done with not enough to make any sort of difference. Wallbangs going out all over the place as BLW finds a great headshot through the wall. Nice, nice shot. Ooh, but Colton takes out Running Water, and it's still a traded gunfire. Sinosloth getting that kill before Stad, but Casey is pushed up, and Colton has also pushed up, taking down Sinosloth. It is down to Splunge, and Colton with 3 health, and Colton goes down to Splunge. That is it. Another round in the pockets for ZER0, and they walk away with a free Vezin. That is a very, very happy ending of a round for ZER0. They barely bought into that round, and they managed to come around with better guns. We see a 4-stack of Cadillos. A very strange buy. This team really likes to save their money. They really like to min-max their economy. I've never seen a team buy so many Cadillos, so many battle raffles. But the buy not looking too healthy on F3's side. This is going to be a little bit of a fixer-upper round. It looks like they are going to invest decently hard into it with enough money that they can bank on that loss bonus if they do lose the round, though, and get a basic buy for the next one. It's... ooh. F3 might have the work cut out for them on this map as well. So far, that defense from ZER0 is looking strong. First door opens, it is yet another B push, going for those standard meta sites. P4 does go out, but doesn't find any damage on anybody. Mostly a consolidation from ZER0 onto that original site. The hatch getting blown out by them, interestingly enough, as well. Oh, the C4 must have landed on that. But big consolidation into B site, making sure that there's no ground and there's a huge fight waiting for F3 when they try and get in there. Nade does go out, and it might find Snoop. It does find Snoop along with a couple of wall bangs. That is 4v5. Colton barely walking away from that wall bang as well. F3's gonna have more work cut out for them, making sure that they can get some control on this. That defensive line inside of the site really doing work. Oh, but Running Water's in the perfect spot, and he takes out a second, completely blind. This round is completely falling apart for FD. They're really gonna have to work for this. Just the defense on ZER0 being very unpredictable. Tacey getting that kill onto Running Water, bringing it down to a 2v4. This is still a lot to ask. Again, they did not buy hard into this round. They did buy light. It still was going to be an uphill battle anyways. They will come out next round with more money that they can work with. Casey looking for any head that he can find while scanning the site. Nothing has popped up yet that he can actually small jump, giving some intel away, but he is going to elect for that. Omen. Spoit gets a first kill, but BLW gets the refrag, and he finds the second one onto Tacey. They're really doing work with these Cadillos. They really, really like their Cadillos over here on ZER0. But we do see those two that they ditched coming back as Maruis as opposed to Cadillos this time. A full buy of Vezims and Maruis coming out from F3. That eco save coming in handy as they are able to now put in the work with the guns that they're best at. This is the first time for this map that we've seen F3 with the full gauntlet of rifles. But it looks like one is going to swap last minute over to a Gadillo. Snoop is going to elect for that. Oh, he's going to elect for an Omen, and he's going to util Mule. A smart play from him, as he's going to be able to make sure that his team is going to have what they need in order to get into this building and into these sites. I just can't get over how much these people enjoy Cadillos. It is very fun. And the drone goes out. Spoit starts looking for his first target. He might go for a drone kill. I hope he does, because that was already a very interesting beginning with Colton getting that drone kill. No intel found just yet that they are lashing off. Now they know that there is one inside of cafeteria, but that individual has ran away. It is now time for the rest of his team to start making their way in, start getting control of those hallways. Drone does take out the static, allowing them to get some more potential movement in. A very hard consolidation in both sites from ZER0 as they look to give no options up for F3. No site will be easy. But Wallbangs do find Sin of Sloth, but his teammate is right there with the swing, while making sure his teammate's taken care of. Still no movement yet. Wall is open. And Dvorstad takes out the first static. We are still waiting for something to happen. Double nades go out, as well as flashes. Juice gets the first kill. But it's not over yet. As the double push comes in, Juice gets a second kill, but Colton gets the refrag. It is 4v3, but it's not going amazingly. Runny Water gets taken out through the wall by Colton, but not before he deals a ton of damage. It is 3-3, but that health disadvantage is still on F3. They still have to deal all that lower health. Dvorstad at any second could peek around, though, and catch a couple of these ZER0 players off guard. Colton also may be walking into a bad situation. Tacey throws the EMP over to Dvorstad, who is going to go for that plant. C4 coming out, but doesn't quite find Tacey. Sin of Sloth creeping his way up. Not quite able to get the angle that he needs, though. Colton right there preventing any sort of push. He does get the first pick onto BLW. Sin of Sloth gets the shot onto Dvorstad. And it is attack o'clock. Splunge getting that first kill, and Sin of Sloth getting that second. That is the round in ZER0's favor. 4-1. ZER0 is looking fantastic today. Very, very great job from these guys. They are putting in the work. They are showing that they've invested. They are showing their chemistry is great. F3 still putting up a great fight. They're getting close on some of these rounds, but it is just not enough to get the win. Looks like we're going to see a little bit more of an A lane on this time. No, I take it back. We're going to see a spread up, but they are going to ultimately go B, it looks like. Both doors get open up, and drones start coming in. Looks like we have a couple approaching from Red Room, while the remainder start going to the hallway. Nade comes out, finds a little bit of damage onto Tacey, but not enough to actually make a difference. Running Water getting that first kill onto Colton, giving them the early advantage. Wallbangs coming out, not quite finding their targets, though. Ooh, Nade goes out, doesn't find anything, but the pushing begins. Ooh, very close. Running Water finds a kill onto Tacey, but Spoit gets the refrag. And then Sin of Sloth taking down Spoit. One, getting the kill, and so does Sin of Sloth. That is a rapid fire takedown. Very, very good, aggressive defense from ZER0. And it is side swap 1-5. F3 is not looking amazing right now. They're gonna really have to put some work in to get back up to an even scoreline. There's no way we're about to see a cursed A push. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are about to see the fabled door rush. This is always one of the goofiest, dumbest plays, but hilarious whenever it works. That defense from F3, though, is almost completely congregated onto B side. If this actually happens and they get a free push into the site, oh my goodness, this is gonna be amazing. I'm not even gonna enter first person. I need to see this. And we see the immediate run-in. They're already in the site. They've already got the plan started. It is over. F3 is not in a position they can retake this. As Splunch and Sin of Sloth get those picks. Casey does get his first pick. Sin of Sloth getting a second pick. Ooh, damage going on to the third. It is 2v4. What can they do at this point? Divorced Dad has a Jesper. He can't really make this work. BLT, his opponent, has a Taurus. And Spoit goes down to Sponge, and BLW finishes that out. 6-1. Their backs are against the wall. F3 is at risk of losing this entire series. I can't believe that worked. I can't believe they got they had nothing on, well, I mean, yes, pistol round, but still, they had nobody over there, and it was the quickest plant. Like I said, it's always very funny when that push works, that little quick, fast garage push. Goofy times, but ZER0 is a goofy team. We see a lot of util coming out from F3, though. They know their backs are against the walls. They know that they have to buy in to win this. We see a hero buy, though, coming out from Splunge as he pulls out the Vezin, looking for any blood that he can get. Looks like they want to end this now, but F3 is not going to be pushovers. They've got full SMG lineups, save for the single Cyclone, and a good amount of util to boot. ZER0 is going to have to be careful if they want to make this happen. Splunch opening up that door. Juice gets a little bit of intel from the drone, but nothing they can immediately utilize. That nade goes out, and it might actually get... No, it gets Snoop incredibly low, though. Divorce that, getting that kill, getting 2 kills. Well done with that Cyclone. He's able to walk away with a Vezin. This is catastrophic for ZER0. They've just lost their most expensive gun. There's a lot of damage, though. Running Water finding his first kill, but he has been hit. Oh, Divorced Dad gets the trip kill with BLW as well, though. It is 2v4. Running Water and Sloth have to make something happen, and Snoop has a Vezin. This is... It's not a good situation right now. It's not a good situation for ZER0. F3 is very well set to hold this. Ooh, Sin of Sloth does go down, and it looks like Running Water is going to retreat and save with his Cadillo and his Cloak. What a play, though. What a play with that Cyclone, managing to secure that Vezin. Such an extremely well done play from Divorced Dad. He had pretty much no rights in a gun's perspective winning that against a Vezin, but he just said nah and got that Vezin on the ground and got it in the hands of his teammate. Yeah, this round has not gone according to plan for ZER0. Hero buy not working out. I do always feel that the hero buy is a cursed thing. The moment you do it, the moment you are going to lose it. But while we wait, appreciate that nice little Jesper skin, that run. All the cool little sound effects can be all yours from the Breacher store. Quick little plug that is not in the script or schedule, but we are going to be sitting here for a minute while this round tries to end. That is the second round for F3. They are starting to make their way on a comeback. It is still a long road. I mean, ZER0 did save a lot of money to go into this next round. Splunge not quite able to do much, but his team is able to pull out a good, decent buy. It looks like they are going to go a little bit more for a save, though. They might go for the next round as their heavy buy round. As everybody buying heavier guns, those Vezins, those Maruis, has elected for SMGs instead. They have their traditional Cadillo buys, though. On the other hand, F3 is still running SMGs save for the one Vezin that they were able to secure. This match, so much is going on. So much, and it is a lot to go over, a lot to enjoy. This has not been a disappointing match at all between the number 2 and number 3 teams. Hatch does open. Splunge looking for his first pick, nothing just yet. Those Cadillo shots ringing out as they hunt down the hallway, make sure that nobody's in there. Nothing found just yet. As the team moves in, Hatch drops, window. Oh, Exploit getting that beautiful C4. That is literally man advantage for F3. DLW does work in getting that foam on the wall, making sure it's prepped, making sure that their push is ready. Incendiary holding off the rest of ZER0's team, though. They're not quite able to make it work just yet. Wallbang's going out just to make sure that the phones are clear. Snoop getting a kill, but Colton also getting a second kill. It is down to 2v5. This is not going well for ZER0. F3 is really working on making that comeback happen. As Sin of Sloth gets one pick, it is now 2v4. Still something that they can work, but it's still a very, very hard battle to overcome for ZER0. Sin of Sloth knew that Tasty was there, but unfortunately was not able to make it at the time. Getting the first pick, but he is stuck, and Tasty finishes him off inside of the Incendiary. We are on 6-3, and F3 is starting a comeback. They are really doing well so far. For those of you pointing out, by the way, that the points are wrong on the maps, yeah, apologies for that again. Our API that managed the points for us broke, so I've been having to manually do it, and unfortunately I can't go back and change the scores. So I'm leaving them as is for right now. We will just go off of the scoreboard. There's no way we're about to see another one of these happen. You don't see a super strong buy. They are just continuing to go for SMGs and Cadillos. They do the run-in again. And there's no way to make up the site completely open. Snoop not putting up with it, though. And Cinepsloth does get Snoop and Splunge gets divorced dad. It is now man advantage 4-0. But Colton takes down one. Split takes down a second. Split takes down a third. And it is one left. BLW going down to Colton. And that is 4-6. It looks like ZER0 is getting a little bit reckless with how they're playing right now. Trying for a little bit goofy stuff. Trying to repeat things with not great buys. Looks like we see ZER0 bringing out the big guns now. All Maruis and Vezins. No more Cadillos. They're looking to win it on this round. They know that if they don't win this round, it's going to be really sucky on their economy going into the 6-5 round. That being said, F3 is going the same route. They've gone for full meta guns. They are not looking to lose this. They want to bring it into overtime and then take this map. Looks like they're going to go for the early wall blow into cafeteria. Get a little bit more open space, get a little bit more angles that they can peek from and a little bit more support. But let's get into this round 11 and see how it goes. Library push does begin, and we see drones checking out to make sure that it's safe, but Tacey does find running water, opening up that vent early, really paying off for him. Oh, but BLW is ready and manages to find the pick onto Colton. Ooh, Splunge taking out Tacey. It is starting to go the way of ZER0. Oh, but Sploit utilizing that clone and the lone wall. He gets a second. Well done, well done. It is now man advantage in F3's favor. All they have to do is play this smart, and they're going to be able to take this into overtime. BLW seeing if he can find any info, but doesn't quite find anything. The pre-fire not landing on anybody. Sloth creeping his way over to the library looking for any potential flanks. But instead, F3 is sitting completely on site, making sure that they don't give any openings. Prioritizing the objectives over prioritizing eliminating the team. BLW and Sloth just looking for anything that they can find. Nice, snappy little flicks, looking for any heads that might be there. Nothing yet, though. F3 playing this extremely smart, making sure that they're staying back completely out of any early peaks. It is low on time. They have to make something happen. BLW pushing up, looking for any opportunities. Not quite able to find anything yet, but he does have the EMP. He could have the chance of getting placed, but Snoop is right there, easily able to and there he is, Snoop getting a nice quick double kill. Bringing this to a 5-6 for his team. Looks like we got a request to show the scoreboard. Keep in mind that there is a time delay. But that is another thing that the API did bring up. The automatic scoreboard is not there either. But we do have some very strong contenders today. We have Spoit and Colton showing that they're top performers over on the F3 side. Meanwhile, Sin of Sloth and Running Water, as well as Splunge actually, doing very well. Juice and BLW not far behind though. A lot more of an even spread on that ZER0 side, but F3 has some really, really strong gun players right now. drones do find a little bit of intel, baiting out a little bit of early shots from the Revolter team, but not quite enough intel for them to be able to action on. The creep-in coming in from Splunch, as he is directly at the door blocker, ready. Ooh, bad nade. Ooh, and he manages to recover. Can't roll it correctly. Gets a lot of damage onto Tacey, but not enough to find what he needs. Wallbangs coming back out from F3, but not able to find their targets. Exploits nade, landing in a decent spot, almost getting BLW. Did bring him out to 68, but only a couple more feet, and that would have been a kill. Rushes do come out, and the push begins as Exploit gets a first kill. Vorstad getting a second kill. This round is not going into Zero's favor. All 5 F3 players still up and ready to fight. Vorstad getting running water. It is 5v2. 5v1 now. Exploit getting Sin of Sloth. It is down to Juice, and it is about to go into overtime. This is gone horribly wrong for Zero. And Tacey finishing that off with a headshot with that Marubi. It is now overtime. Ooh, man, we might be seeing a map 3 here. But we do see F3 electing to go on defense again. A repeat on this site. They did a fantastic job of holding it last round. This could absolutely go F3's way unless Zero is able to lock in and secure this round to give them the match. But if F3 is able to take this, we've got a map 3 coming up. We begin. C4 opening up that first wall, drone immediately going out, and Zero now has an idea of where the lean on defense is. It is an A push, that drone bringing attention, but it looks like F3 has caught on. They have shifted their defense, readying, and Splunch getting a very, very narrow kill onto the Vorstad, just catching the wing of his arm. It looks like Zero is a lot more locked in for this push. Nothing quite found just yet. Splunch getting a second kill. Wall is formed, and it is a 5v3 at this moment. They are ready and waiting for this push. Splunch getting that kill onto Snoop and putting it down to 1, and that is it. Running Water, Juice, and Splunch have completely taken the site, giving the win over to Zero. It looks like a couple things have gone interesting, but that is it. That is the match in Zero's favor. Looks like they finally, they did lock in for that last round. Gave the win that they needed in order to keep from going into a map 3. F3 fought extremely hard though. What a team. Like, solid gunplay from a lot of those players. They were really, really close to cinching that up and getting a map 3. But alas, Zero just wanted it more. Excellent job from both teams. Y'all did fantastic. That was a great match to see, and I'm very glad that this was one of the last matches that we got out of the season before going into post. Now, both Zero and F3 being the number 2 and number 3 teams, it's extremely unlikely that anything is going to change and any of these teams will be dropped below 7th place. These teams are 99% likely going into the postseason championships and getting to skip Challengers Cup entirely. I say 99 because who knows, MMR can be very, very strange at times. So usually if I say guaranteed 100%, it doesn't happen, and I get ratioed by luck. But excellent job from both teams. What a match. But it is time to pay the bills. I gotta give some shout outs and thanks to the people that make this happen. So, first off, I would like to thank Triangle Factory. Triangle Factory makes fantastic VR games. Their latest one, Forefront, has been an absolute joy to play. I I am rusty as heck on VR shooters, but I have such a blast anytime I load into a fourth lobby. And same with Breachers. Every time I get into a Breachers lobby, I have a great time. They make some of my favorite VR games, and they always do a fantastic job. Also like to give a shout out to HyperX. If you need new peripherals, if you need new keyboard, mouse, headset, yada yada yada, go check out HyperX. They've got fantastic stuff, and they're a great supporter of VRML, longtime supporter. If you are looking for some sweet VRML merch, Exclaim.gg has it. That is where you can pick up your league shirts. You can go support your favorite game in the league. You can go just get something goofy from VRML. There are a couple fun meme shirts on there. I would know. ProTube VR. If you're looking for a VR gun stock, they are the #1 place to go. They have fantastic equipment. I've tried a couple gun stocks in my day, and I think ProTube VR has the highest quality and the most reliable stock. I would like to also give a shout out to the creator and caster and mod teams for VRML. Without all y'all, we wouldn't be able to make these productions. We wouldn't be able to make these leagues. It is fantastic working with you guys. I thank you for all your effort, and I hope that we get to continue to bring these awesome productions. And finally, I would like to give a thanks to all of the community. You all are the reason that this happens. You are what makes this happen. It is so much fun being able to cast you guys. So much fun to see the community play and see these intense, high octane matches. I love casting and I love seeing these. And without you guys, we wouldn't have these seasons. We wouldn't have a community. We wouldn't have a league. So thank you all for everything that you do. I can't wait to see what comes from the rest of the week, and I definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen in postseason. Well, thank you all. That is going to be it for me. My name is Shimi Marui, and y'all have a good night.
Breachers VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.